The morning was still the sort of rural quiet where the only noises are the rustle of leaves and a far-off cluck of chickens. I was in the barn syncing irrigation logs when my tablet froze mid-upload, the Wi-Fi stuttering like a bad heartbeat. Rural life teaches you to pay attention to the little things when the water pump hums too long, when the generator flickers, when your internet chokes for no reason. I'd blamed spotty signals, perhaps the barn insulation. But when I checked my router and counted 6 devices connected when I only had 4, the reality hit home. Because someone was stealing my Wi-Fi, across the street in her HOA domain. Susan was lounging around in a silk robe, iPad rested on a lawn chair, streaming rom-coms off my signal. That's when I knew this wasn't a bug. It was a declaration of war, and I was ready to fight dirty. I logged into the router and saw Susan's iPad followed by guest phone 12 and a smart TV that wasn't mine. Susan, the HOA's self-proclaimed empress, governed her cul-de-sac with a clipboard and a smirk. She was out there every day, sun hat smoothie yoga mather devices sucking my bandwidth. I changed the password, assuming that it ended. By noon, she stormed up my drive. No knock, just a screech that startled the goats. "Why is my connectivity down?" she demanded. I played dumb. She claimed shared airwaves were her right, citing some HOA nonsense about community resources. I reminded her my farm wasn't her community. She pointed at my weather antenna, muttering about cancer risks, and flounced off. That night, I installed a network monitor. Her devices crept back. Susan's iPhone, Susan's backup phone, even her fridge. The audacity was almost impressive. The breaking point came when my security system failed to upload footage after a fox spooked the chickens. The corruption went back to Susan's devices, hogging bandwidth at 2 a.m. streaming. What midnight yoga I called the HOA, but the receptionist laughed, suggesting private resolution and device logs as if I hadn't already tried. The next day, Susan yelled across the field with a megaphone accusing me of digital hoarding. My goats, smarter than most, were my allies. I set a camera where her signal was strongest. Sure enough, she trespassed daily, pacing my pasture's edge, iPad in hand, giggling at her screen while the goats glared. I rewatched footage, my land, my signal, her smug face soaking it up like she'd cracked a vault. No more politeness, no more password resets. I renamed my Wi-Fi. Get your own internet. Her devices vanished. Ping silent. She called, voice shaking, claiming personal attack. The goats feel attacked too, I said, hanging up. My signal ran smooth, but Susan didn't back down. She escalated. The next day, Susan and 2 HOA henchmen walked her lawn, pointing at my house, scheming. They stuck a notice on my mailbox accusing me of internet discrimination and referencing a bogus HOA rule on community access infrastructure. My signal intruded their airspace, so I owed them access, laughable but dangerous. She thought I let it fester, then discovered my router's admin password, altered remote access, enabled someone had messed with. I reset it, added a firewall, and configured real-time alarms. Hours later, Susan guested, pinged my network. I set up a trail cam near the utility pole where she hung out. At 2 a.m., it recorded a flashlight flicker and a figure setting up a signal booster. My signal dropped the next day, choppy streams, slow uploads. I went up the pole, found the zip-tied booster, and destroyed it. This wasn't conveniency, was entitlement. Susan assumed my Wi-Fi was her birthright. I got proactive, installing a signal tracker and data logger. Every device left a fingerprint. A week later, her son Ethan saunted up, complimenting my goats, then asking if my Wi-Fi was out. He said their bill hadn't been paid and my signal was better. I laughed, walking away. Susan's newsletter followed, preaching digital neighborliness and shaming selfish neighbors. I compiled logs, screenshots, and cam footage, cross-referencing timestamps. The booster's photo sealed it. I sent one packet to the HOA board, another to Susan's husband, Mark, who took it with a weary nod without a word. The board's response was a brush-off citing community spirit. Susan was their bake sale star, untouchable. I wasn't finished. I released a Tropa decoy network free farm, Wi-Fi open, no password. Within minutes, her tablet and TV bit. I sent it through a proxy delivering goat videos, tractor ads, and PSAs. Browsers redirected to decoy network. Stop stealing. Seriously, Susan. Her porch shriek echoed across the field. She vanished indoors, lights flickering in panic. The HOA Facebook group erupted with her rants about cyberbullying. She mailed screenshots of the decoy page claiming her kids were traumatized by goat videos, and her fridge made barnyard noises. I replied with legal proof. An unsecured decoy on my land wasn't harassment. I CC'd the board, with a CSAN desist for her access attempts. Susan retaliated, inspecting my barn's non-compliant color and satellite dishes glare. I handed her a county survey demonstrating my farm wasn't HOA turf. She stormed off in a huff. Neighbors began complaining. Susan had measured lawns, prohibited duck feeding. I increased the decoy's mayhem. Daily messages such as "Stop mooching, Susan random disconnects." One evening she and Ethan fought on her porch, laptop in hand, cursing the dead signal I observed from the barn. A raccoon outwitting a trash went nuclear hiring attorney, claiming digital defamation and home sabotage. My IT law buddy Jake laughed, writing a reply with logs, laws, and a dig about her overdue bills. The attorney went dark. Susan's newsletter photo disappeared. Then I discovered a hidden HOA bylaw. Private utilities such as Wi-Fi were off limits. Susan's own rule trapped her. I called my IT forensics buddy Ryan, who tracked 9 devices to her address. Some tagged Susan. We set up a fake login portal, catching her thermostat, doorbell, and tablet. I reported to the HOA and Mark, who seemed defeated, acknowledging Susan was obsessed. Researching router hacks on the internet, I alerted him to escalation. A few days later, Susan's newsletter spun her as an internet freedom martyr, but a footnote reported her resignation due to health. Too quiet, I maintained cameras rolling. One morning, a hidden cable proceeded to a sophisticated signal booster underneath a roadside stone. Ryan confirmed it skimmed Wi-Fi logging connections, not just mine. I told the sheriff about it, producing logs and earlier letters. The deputy, previously doubtful, guaranteed a warrant. Mark admitted. Susan's fixation, pleading with her to desist. I secured my network new. Router, encrypted cameras, infrared triggers. Susan's last act was a frenzied park exhibition taping digital justice manifestos to tables declaring victimhood. A board member shut it down under park rules. Nobody stood up for her. She left ranting about liberties, her binder trembling. The sheriff subsequently verified booster hit other networks, sparking more complaints. Susan vanished. Facebook silent yoga classes elsewhere. Mark bought supplies alone. Head down. The HOA audited, banning network interference. Raymond, the new president, met me, proposing clear tech boundaries. We talked over coffee, his notes sharp. His plan, simple, focus on roads, not control. Fences aren't just wood, he said. Sometimes they're digital. Susan's house went dark, then sold. A moving truck, left quietly. Her note, unsigned, read, "You were right to defend your borders." I stashed it away, a souvenir. The decoy closed down. I rebranded my Wi-Fi. Susan's lost neighbors cooked burgers at my fire pit, laughing at strong signals. The goats chomped clover unmolested. The barn light flared. The wind bore smoke, and my signal streamed clean. No pings, no notifications, just peace won by standing a line against a thief who believed my Wi-Fi was her kingdom. Some wars are waged with routers, and I had won mine.